Hello, hello, welcome back to Carissa Reads Books, where we talk about books, and more books. So today we're going to be going over different GoodReads reviews for books that I have read, and I'm going to be reading those out loud. Some of the more appropriate ones, hopefully. I don't know. There's some reviews that are like, "Ugh, I can't believe you kind of wrote that." Um, but other than that, I will also be giving my review if I have one for that book. I should write more reviews, but I don't. Mainly because I remember how I liked the book. But I don't remember what happened in the book. Like, all the time. It happens when I'm explaining a book, too, unless it's like Six Crows, where I don't know. I can get stuck on explaining the ice court heist for like 20 minutes. It's not good. It's not good. Anyways, yeah, so I'll be giving my review if I have one, and then my star rating, because I always try to do a star rating for every single book I read and log on GoodReads. Alrighty, so let's get into it. Also, I pre-apologize for like the terrible lighting here. Because I'm outside. I like doing stuff outside and writing outside and filming my stuff outside. Because outside's like my home. But day is just like super, super hot, so I ended up putting up an umbrella. Now, I literally am not wearing sunglasses either. I can't see a thing. Um, so I put up the umbrella, and I could not get it at an angle that the lighting was not weird. So this is right now is the best angle I could get it at. I spent a good 10 minutes trying to figure it out, and you know what? I just gave up. I also pre-apologize for like the no makeup eye makeup here, so I was just too lazy to do it, which makes sense. Like, makeup's too much work. It is too much work. Autobots, let's pull up the GoodReads. Okay, so the first book we're going to be looking at is The Elite, which is the second selection book by Kiera. I gave this a 1-star review. It was literally one of the worst books I've ever read, even in a series. I'm not a big fan of the selection series to begin with. I don't think I gave any of the first 3 books high ratings. I've never read any other ones. Felt like I was losing brain cells. Like when I watched High School Musical. I'm getting paid for that. Anyways, yeah, I mean, if you're 12 and starting to get into reading, like, selection's great. But if you have read books like stuff by Brandon Sanderson, Leigh Bardugo, all these other awesome people, like, you... No, this is terrible. This is trash. I would burn this on my grill. So anyways, that is my opinion on it. I didn't write a review, mainly because I feel like, I don't know, I was too lazy, first of all. Second of all, it would not be a good review. And, like, I kind of feel bad for Kiera because I'm, like, tearing into her work. I know, I hate it when somebody tears into my work. So my review was a 1-star for that. Let's see, let's go. First community review. How long is this one? I'm too lazy to read this, but she also gave a 1-star review. Nothing happened throughout this book. That's so true. That is so true. Next review. That's also 1 star. Also 1 star. The problem is they write like their own books about why they didn't like it. 5 stars is the top rating. What? What? Alright, let's see if I can get some of these 5-star reviews pulled up. It's not working. Come on. Come on, GoodReads. Alright, I haven't found a 5-star review yet, but I did just find a 4-star review that was very short. This person linked it back to their YouTube video. I'm not gonna watch your YouTube video. I'm sorry, girl. I'm not gonna watch it. I don't have that time. Not at this moment anyways. If you're gonna rant about how frustrating America is, yes ma'am, I probably will watch it at some point. But it's, quote, I raced through this book because I love the concept and where the stories seem to be heading, but oh my goodness, America was so frustrating. And then she links it to her YouTube video. But yes, America was frustrating. She was also pretty stupid. Literally, I feel like everything in her little universe was, oh my gosh, Maxon. Oh my gosh, no, wait, I love Aspen. Alright, so I found 2 5-star reviews after going through a bunch of 2 and 1-star reviews. The first one's in Espanol. I just do. Can I speak Spanish? Yes. Do I have the energy to translate it today? No. No. Honestly, what is this one? This is another review where they pretty much wrote a book ranting about it. But it's a 5-star review, so I guess it wouldn't be ranting it. I guess it'd be praising the book. The next 5-star review right after that says, quote, "I cannot wait to get the final book tomorrow." In all caps. I write in all caps too. So I really have fallen in love with the series. Although it sometimes frustrates the crap out of me how stupid America can be in the beep love triangle. I just can't help it. Yeah. Yep. America's pretty frustrating yet again. She's probably one of the more, and she's probably in my top 5 annoying female characters in books. Like, I think I'm gonna do one more review. I'm gonna find like a 3-star. 3 stars is like neutral in my book. So we get like the even sphere. I don't know. I feel like I haven't read any like 1-star reviews, but I ranted enough about what should be a 1-star. I'm sorry. Alright, so I have a 3-star review. It's very short. This entire series can be summarized in one sentence. Maxon deserves better. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Right after that, there's another 3-star review. Also about Maxon. I love this book so much. I read it just one day. I couldn't put it down. I love Maxon so much. I kind of like this character, although I feel like, yeah, that boy deserves better. Better than America. I'm sorry. I was also enraged by like the 3rd book ending too. I was like, yes, she's getting what she deserves. And then like stuff happened in the 3rd, and I was mad with the ending. The next book we're going to be looking at is Twin Crowns by Katherine Doyle and Catherine Weber. I just read this book a few weeks ago, and I found it entertaining. It was like a fantasy rom-com. And I'm not typically a romantic comedy person, but I actually found this one pretty entertaining. So I give it a 4-star review. It wasn't 5 stars in my book, but I liked it. I was entertained. And it looks like 4-star reviews, I'm sorry, is the top ratings on GoodReads for it. So let's look through some reviews. All right, so I have a 5-star review pulled up. It's another full-length book review. How do you guys write reviews this long? I'm just like, I like this, then like this, the end. But then like, this is a practical paper, so I'm just gonna read the first few sentences, because I really think it's accurate. This was better than I thought it was going to be. I've seen people saying that it was good, but not the best, and I can understand that, but honestly, I overlooked all of the issues because this was so much fun. That's true. It's fun. It is a fun read. I actually had to force myself to stop reading so that I could sleep because it was literally so addicting. And I actually put off finishing the book because I didn't want it to end, which never happens to me. I don't think I do that often with books. I do that with TV shows, though. Like, it took me forever to finish the, like, last episode of Psych. I just love this show so much. I was like, no, I don't want you to end. But yeah, it is a fun book. Was a little addicting. I could put it down to sleep, though. Something I didn't put down to sleep because it was so addicting was the inheritance games, which I think we'll look at in a few minutes. But before we do that, I'm going to go through like 1 or 2 more reviews for Twin Crowns. Alright, so I've just seen several 5-star reviews and looking through them, and it's just saying the book's fun. It is. It is. I would recommend reading it just because it has a very fun, like, atmosphere, very light fantasy, lighthearted. So I enjoy that a lot, especially since I feel like more dark fantasy books are being pushed, which I'm not against, obviously. I'm not against it, but I do enjoy a little lighthearted fantasy, and it's funny, very witty. So the next review I found for Twin Crowns is a 3-star review, and oh my gosh, my hair is so blonde. I am not blonde. I am dark brown haired. I did get highlights in my hair, like blonde highlights, but that was like months ago. I don't know, this must just be the sun. Anyways, 3-star review. Twin Crowns stumbles more than it soars, and yet is joyous entertainment from start to finish. This is another one of those long reviews that's like an academic paper, so I gotta scroll to the bottom for the little part I want. Despite my lukewarm rating, I had so much fun reading this book, and I'll be certain to get the book when it comes out next year, which is Twin Crowns, by the way. I hope it's out. Is it out? I don't know. See, sometimes I'll think books are out because I'll follow these other book people on Instagram, and really they just got the early release copy, and so I can just pre-order it. We're like, no, but I want to read it. So, yeah, I think that might be next year. We got pause the GoodReads reading reviews for a second so I can find out this information. Okay, so according to Barnes & Noble, it has come out, just the hardcover edition. The paperback edition is going to be coming out in December. I think it said around Christmas. I would so get it, but my bank account hates me already. Alright, so I found a 1-star review. First thing they say is, knew it was going to be a roller coaster when I saw Sarah J. Maas on the cover. Yeah, she does have a little, the little author review or famous person review on it. Sarah J. Maas is on the cover. Although I will be reading Throne of Glass soon, and I might do a reading blog for that. So if you want to see a Throne of Glass reading blog, put it in the comments below. Anyways, back to this 1-star review. This is such a classic young adult fantasy that y'all will just go crazy over. Yeah, I mean, I can understand that because there's times it seems a bit dense, especially from Rosa's point of view. So I can get behind that. I definitely like Ren's point of view better. I think the only thing for me is just kind of funny. It was funny, and I like humor, any kind of humor. So anything that can make me laugh, I'm always like, yeah. So unlike the selection, that was just yeah. So in conclusion, this was horrible, but the kind of horrible where it gets more fun as you keep reading and laugh at it. That was basically Rose's point of view for me, and maybe that was part of why I kind of liked it. I don't know. It's because yeah, Rose sometimes felt a little iffy. Not iffy, but like, point of view was not that. Her character was a little dense. To be fair, it's because the character has just been in a castle her whole life. But she's a little dense because of that. And that was kind of funny just watching her go into different settings and stuff and react to that. And it was a little dense, but it was funny. So if you like that kind of humor, again, or like me, just laugh at everything, I'd still go read it. Even if you're not going to give it a 5-star review, because I don't think I'd ever give this book a 5-star review. But I do like the humor. The person wrote a 1-star review. They did not finish after 20%. Buddy, okay, if you can't get at least through 75% of the book, then you do not finish it. You should not be writing a review. Kind of don't want to read it. But to be fair, the reason they said they did not finish it was because they found it to be different situations taking place to be very stupid, bad developed, and far-fetched. Yes, for a fantasy book. Oh, and the glance at the camera there should be badly developed. I'd get hung up on any grammar issues and mistakes and anything. Like, even in published books, when you find a typo, I get very hung up on it. So it's not what they said. And I do agree it could have been developed better, but also I feel like the fun and lightheartedness and the comedy, really, yeah, that's the reason I liked it so much. So, far-fetched, I don't think it's far-fetched. It's fantasy. Fantasy can never be that far-fetched. I'm sorry. There are times when it can be very stupid. They did mention later in the view that, one of the characters, Rose, her point of view was eye-rolling. So it was at times. I did find her point of view a little annoying and liked Ren's better if you've read the book. They're the two main characters. But I did like Ren's point of view better a lot. Rose was kind of whiny. So I can agree there. So the next book I'm going to be looking at, as promised, is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I give this one a 4-star review. You're like, oh my gosh, this is like so typical. It's a TikTok book. I'm not a big fan of TikTok. I think I've already said this. The reason it's not because of TikTok or TikTok, I don't know. I just don't, I find book talk videos funny, but I just don't like TikTok overall. Anyways, I give this one a 4-star review. Mainly because in middle school, I had a good time with 2 of my English teachers. And one of them, in one of her classes, we started reading The Weston Game. I don't know if you've read that book. I can't remember who wrote it, but I remember a lot of that book, and it was really good. It got me entertained and got my attention, and then we did all these fun activities around it, and I just had a lot of good time, and it was like my middle school class was not very unity and friends. And so that was one of the activities that everybody was like, yeah, let's work together, let's be friends. And so it just meant a lot to me. That teacher just meant a lot to me too. So I'm not going to say her name, but if you're watching this, I love you. I still love you to this day. I'm going to go visit you. I'm going to track you down. I'm going to go visit you because I think you're still teaching. Anyways, I gave this a 4-star review, mainly because it reminded me of the Weston games and all those good times and the nostalgia. I also really like this character, Nash, one of the Hawthorne brothers. I just like his character overall and his savior complex. I thought that was funny and cute. I thought Avery was interesting, a little annoying at times, but interesting. And then Jameson and Grayson. I don't know. All that drama is about them, but I'm over here, I'm like, Nash. I liked him the most. Sorry to the other Hawthorne brother. All right. I scrolled too far. I was about to say which rating details. English. My goodness. So the top rating 5 stars. But I actually only scrolled too far and see like 3-star review and like in all caps, this therapy for all of you. So I think I'm gonna look through that review and see how long it is and then get back to y'all. I also forgot to mention I liked how puzzly it was and riddly. I like I feel like it was a little harder to like solve them yourself. Like if it's a book where I can kind of solve the puzzle and the mystery myself, I enjoy them more. But I still like them when they're a little puzzly. What's the other book? It was on my bookshelf. I have it. It's on my bookshelf, but it's puzzly. What's it called? Oh, The Gilded Wolves. I think that's the title. The Gilded Wolves. I sound so incompetent. But I really enjoyed that book, and that's a trilogy. I enjoyed all 3 books, mainly because it was super puzzly, and the author put like these little puzzles in there that you could solve along with the characters. It was so cool. So I do kind of recommend that if you're into puzzly and like French era. I'm trying to remember what the books are about, but there's so much. The team kind of reminded me of Six of Crows, not like criminals or anything. There's a lot of teamwork. Anyways, it's not a book review for that book. I'm looking through different book reviews for the Inheritance games, so let me go do that. So I was just skimming through the reviews. There was another one I passed. I don't remember what the rating was. Oh, wait. Okay, I found it again. It's a 2. I'm just skimming through these at this point because this video is probably super, super long. So yeah, they were talking about how they wanted like seemingly impossible, shocking answers. Yeah, they could have been a little more shocking, but also I feel like this was meant for more of a middle school audience, like the selection. So when you look at it through that lens, it's actually not that bad. I'm not saying that about the selection though. Yeah, but I feel like the Inheritance game's more for like middle school, young adult readers, and then like maybe early high school. But again, like, yeah, I can see that. That does make sense because some of them I was like, that's it. I was expecting something bigger, but other times I was like, oh, yeah, cool. I don't know. I feel like I can't give an honest opinion though because I am very good at calling out plot twists and stuff. And like I expect them. It's like my reader sense. I call it my reader tingle instead of like Peter Tingle or Spider Sense Peter Tingle. Sorry, that still cracks me up. Thinking like I hear Aunt May's voice from the Spider-Man movies calling it Peter Tingle. Anyways, yeah, so instead of Spider Sense, it's my reader sense. And I know when it's coming, and so I'm very rarely surprised by any of them. So I always gotta filter that out when I do my reviews. So when somebody says that, I'm like, you know what, I guess, yeah, but I'm pretty good at it. All right, so this is another 2-star review, again long. So starts with a quote that's traps upon traps and riddles upon riddles. I think that's also on the back of the first book, if I remember correctly. And then says, yes, except no, the thing is, if you're going to promise me puzzles and riddles, you'd better deliver. And the inheritance games fall way short. I mean, again, if I could solve the puzzles alongside the characters, I'd probably like it more. But there's still puzzles, and there's still riddles, and it still got you thinking. For me, anyways. But if that's you, that's okay. Like, again, like, I'm not trying to, like, berate anyone's review. That's all your opinion. And it's okay to have different opinions on stuff. I don't understand why we all get all up in arms when somebody doesn't agree with us over the best Coke flavor or something, or why they don't like this book better than this book, or why they don't like this book instead of this book. That makes no sense to me, because we're all different humans, and we all have different opinions. Although it is I do find it entertaining to read other people's reviews, because they're a little comedic, especially if they're the ones that give it a bad review. So, unfortunately, this was a case of overpromising and under-delivering. The best part of this book was the premise and initial pages as I read on, the mind-numbing dialogue and the YA melodrama/romance. Okay, that was a little annoying. That did annoy me a little. I do agree there. Between all the characters, really grated on me. Add to the underwhelming conclusion, and I'm sorry to say that this is really not for me. Maybe if I were still a teenager, I would enjoy this more, but that's too many decades in the past for me to remember now. And that's fair. I'm glad you included that. So, yes, I was seeing other reviews. I'm about to read another one, but I was just reading this one, and she makes a point in it where she's glad she realized there was more books because she was about to go off about the ending. And I don't think some of the other people realized that, hey, this is actually a series, because they were going off about the ending and there should have been more written. So it's like, okay, yeah. But they are a little, come on, I need to read the next book. So I felt like the conclusions were okay. Like, I could have lived without, for me personally, I could have lived without reading the next book. But I also have this little curious inside of me that I always have that wants to read the next book. And I'm so glad my friend gave me the 3 books as a gift. So I'm so glad she gave me the 3 books so I could just keep on reading them. But anyways, this review is a 4-star review. It says, you know the saying, time flies when you aren't having fun? That's the best way I can describe reading this. It felt like I had just started it when all of a sudden it was over. I could have easily read another 300 pages of this. I'm not going to read the rest of the review. It's not super long, though. I'm just not going to read the rest of it for time's sake. But I do agree, like, I like how the endings lead into the beginnings of the next books. Like, it ends when the next book starts. And so it's like you're just reading one whole big book without having a huge big book. So I really enjoyed that. And I also enjoyed, like, how short the chapters were, because I always get a little annoyed when I have to pause in the middle of the chapter because I have to go do something. But no, the chapters are like 4 pages or something. And so I can just, like, read it 4 pages, put the bookmark in, go do something else, come back, read maybe a few more pages, put the bookmark in, add another chapter. So, overall, like, I can agree with some of, like, the 2-star reviews. Like, there are times where it's like, yeah, especially the romance, that was a little cringy. But overall, I kind of liked the riddles, the puzzles, and she did really good with the conclusion. More, and it's going to be Uprooted by Naomi Novik. I think is how you say your last name. But I gave this book a 5-star review because I've read it several times, actually. I really enjoyed this book. I would recommend it. It's very magical. Yeah. I lost my train of thought. That's okay. We're just gonna go straight into the reviews. At this point in time, you're probably wondering why I don't, like, edit this stuff out. It's because I don't have that skill. But also, I just want to show, like, my stuff is not perfect. Nobody's YouTube stuff is perfect. So, sorry. Reviews are funny. It's 1-star review that I was just skimming by because I was trying to get to the rating details again, but I always, like, go a little too fast. There's more stuff in caps for sarcasm. It's funny. I find it funny. I love looking through reviews because they're hilarious. But this book has the rating details 5 stars is the top, and then followed by 4 stars. It is a really good fantasy book if you like magic, and wizards. Is it a wizard? Yeah, it's a wizard. My brain just like stopped. But it has to, like, magical forces that kind of remind me of like Ents but darker. And so I'm just like trying to explain why I like this book, but I can't. So I'm like trying to remember what happened so I can explain why I like it. But I do remember just wanting to keep reading more. I brought it with me on vacation last year, and I'm going to bring it with me probably again this year. So last time I read it was last summer. I'm going to the same place in a few weeks, so I shall probably be bringing it again. But I always read it super fast because I'm always so hooked, even though I've read it before and know what happens. So I do really like this book. So let me find some reviews. Okay, so I found a 5-star review, and I feel like I have to read this one because it's by a wonderful children's author who writes fiction and fantasy. I mean, you probably all know him, but I'm not going to read his name because I don't want anyone to be biased. Okay, I was kind of biased in choosing this rating, but I will go find 1-star reviews for this after this, so therefore it all balances out. He says, quote, "I love a good fantasy rooted in folklore, and Novik does a great job mining the mythology of Eastern Europe for this novel." Yeah, that's what I was saying. She uses a lot of really good mythology and folklore in this story to build upon everything else. I know, I feel like I'm like repeating what he said. But I feel like this review is basically what I was trying to tell you about the book before my brain died. Near the bottom of the review, it says, quote, "Novik does a great job twisting our expectations, inverting the tropes about fairy tale villains and heroes. You'll get magic and monsters, princes and wizards, and sorcery and chivalry, but not always in the ways you might expect." That is so true, though. This book does have some really, really neat twists overall. And it's just, wow. I don't know what to say. This book is really always leaves me speechless when I try to explain why I like it, because it's just brilliant. It is a really brilliant folklore story overall. Wizards, all that jazz. Found a 1-star review and I'd read it, but I feel like I'd sound like Gordon Ramsay with all the beeps I would have to make. Alright, so this is not a 1-star review, it's a 4-star review. But I'm going to read it anyways. I'm going to read a section near the bottom. I will say that this book isn't evenly compelling throughout. Most of it was riveting, but there were chapters where I had trouble getting through them, mostly when, I'm about to pronounce the main character's name, forgive me, and Nizka? It's one of those names where you read it and you're just like, la 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 la, that's the main character. So I'm going to have to find out how you pronounce her name. Anyways, back to the review. Arrives in a new location and starts bumbling around. I like my female characters to be strong and clever, and while, oh no, Agnieszka does not get there. She sure spends a lot of time being confused and dense at the start. But it's pretty minor complaints since those were only small parts of the book. I can see that. I do remember there was like 1 or 2 sections where I was like, come on, you can do better. But most of the book, I think that's part of the character's character arc overall. So in the beginning, she is a little done some bumbling at first. Her world's very small. But as the story continues to go on in her overall arc, you kind of see it expand and you see her change. And so, yeah, but I can all right, so I have a 4-star, 1-star review for Uprooted now. This does not have a lot of swear words like the other one I found did. Although I feel like it's a little funnier later. Sorry. It's texting me. Go away. I'm reading book reviews. Okay, so a section I felt like was a good section just for like the general overall overview of their review was, quote, "When I began reading Uprooted, it was pretty tolerable, and you could even go as far as saying that I was vaguely interested. Unfortunately, after around 10% of the way through, things took a depressing turn, and I asked myself, what the beep was I thinking?" So, and that's your opinion. That's fair. Yeah. I enjoyed it and gave it a 5-star review, so it's like, I'm trying to find something like I can agree with out of their review, but I can't. But thank you for writing a review, even though, because most of it she was like, I don't understand why I just didn't DNF this book. Well, thank you for at least reading it and writing a review. So, and I think we're just going to do one more book because I am running out of time because I have people coming over. All right, so for the last book review, I thought it'd be fun to do a book that I read that was extremely funny, zany, and just a joke book in general. So we're going to look at How to Survive a Robot Uprising, Tips on Defending Yourself Against the Coming Rebellion. I give this one a 5-star review because it's absolutely hilarious. And by the way, it's by Daniel Wilson. I go read this book if you like movies and books with like robot uprisings and stuff. Go read this book. It's just it's so funny. Although with all the AI stuff now, I'm like, ooh, that's a little scary. Oh my gosh, why did my phone go dark? Am I at 5%? Okay, my phone wants to die, so we're gonna do very fast reviews. Overall, the rating details looks like it was 3-star. I don't know. I found it humorous. All these reviews are great. There's so many little different references to like South Park and stuff in them. Oh, that's awesome. Let's see. 2-star review. Pro, it has a pocket size. It is pocket size, sorry, for ease of portability when all you have is what you can fit on your back, and of course an EMP detonator and a copy of the C++ for dummies. Skynet probably already has a copy and a software patch to deal with the obvious advantage of this book. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. 3-star reviewed from another person. After reading this, I realized that if the robots rebel, I'm screwed. Oh, this book was really hilarious, though, and apparently there's another one, because I stole my dad's copy. There's another one that my uncle has that's How to Survive the Zombie Apocalypse or something. I've not read that, but I would like to. Oh. Yeah, there's only a few reviews for this. So this is a 4-star review. The good news is that there's no proof that robots actively sabotage Daniel H. Wilson's later activities, such as making his comic books unpopular or endlessly delaying the movie adaptation of his novel Robopocalypse. But you never know. Oh my gosh. Well, this is funny. If you are a science fiction fan, definitely read this book. It is worth your time. It's hilarious. And like, if there's ever a robot uprising, because we got a lot of AI stuff starting to come out, you'll know how to live. All right, thank you so much for joining me for looking at Goodreads reviews. I hope you enjoyed this at least a little and found it highly entertaining. I know I was highly entertained, especially by the last one, because like I've never looked through the few reviews that were on there for that book before. Yeah, that was great. And if you have any thoughts or comments, put them in the comments section below. And if you ever want me to do this again, also put that in the comments section below. All right. Well, see y'all next time.